I just saw someone in the boardroom. Whom is he waiting to see? And is it his first time here?
Yes, it is, and he's waiting to see Joe.
Well, Joe is in court and won't be in till much later. Maybe somebody else should see him then. Elsie?
No.
No?
He spoke with Joe earlier. Yes, he spoke to Joe.
I spoke to Joe a few moments ago and he made no such indication.
He was very adamant.
Well, the client is always right.
Where'd you take that? Shock.
Mr. Mwako thought you were still in court, and this is more important.
My case got adjourned. You did well this week, eh?
Mm-hmm. And I'm doing better. I have a celebrity waiting for you in the boardroom.
Right, I'll get to it right now.
And Joe, my cut goes up by 5% this week.
No.
Bring me that file.
I believe this is what you've been looking for.
Yeah, sure. How did you know?
I just do.
Did you manage to meet your client?
Which one?
The one who was waiting for you the whole morning. How did it go?
Oh, I couldn't do anything for him. He's a washed-up singer.
Okay, sure. There are plenty of them out there looking to make a quick buck out of frivolous suits.
It's a tough industry. I advised him against it. Your Honor, this is a very simple matter. BPP is compensating with more than $20 billion to the people whose livelihoods were destroyed by the Gulf spill. BPP is compensating fishermen whose livelihood they destroyed. They denied them their livelihood, and that's why they have to pay for that. Now, my client here, G-Man, is an artist. He's a musician. He's a singer. His voice is his livelihood. All right? Without it, he is nothing. Now, Total Body Fitness Center has taken away that from him. Total Body Fitness Center has taken away his only source of income. And that was through some outrageous negligence on their part, and also like BPP, they have to pay for the loss of his livelihood.
Not so if the loss of his vocal cord was self-inflicted due to some desire to please the ladies, which I will ably demonstrate. The plaintiff is the author of his misfortune, and shamelessly he has the guts to profit from his recklessness. If a baboon decides to thump its chest in the shows of bravados, and in the process breaks a rib, who is responsible for that? Just a thought.
Who else better to give us this tragic story than the plaintiff himself, Charlie Keriso, who is also known as by his stage name, G-Man. How many albums do you have out?
Just one.
And do you make any money from this album?
No, there's no money album sales. You know Kenya and piracy.
So how do you make most of your money?
Gigs. I mean, stage performances.
Live performances. And how many would you have to do, let's say, on an average?
I mean, man of 4.
4. 4 of them in a month would keep you going, right?
Of course. I get paid like 50,000 and 100,000 per show, depending on how long and to who.
And now?
Now.
All right. I'm sure you've not managed to perform since you had the accident, am I right?
Of course. My voice is like a puppet. Even puppets have better voice than mine.
Okay. Please tell us. Tell the court what transpired on the day of the accident.
I'm a regular trainer at Total Body Fitness Center. And of course, I even have a personal trainer, Arnold Kabati.
Arnold Kabati, is he or was he your personal trainer?
He was. I haven't been there ever since the accident.
Was he all the time with you?
Yes, when I was working out.
And why was he with you all throughout?
Because I was lifting weights. It's recommended that a person has a trainer when they're new to weightlifting.
As you were, a beginner.
Yes, I just joined the gym 3 weeks ago. And I was trying to work on my muscles and my abs. It's good for stage performances. Besides, ladies love men with muscles, you know.
Yes, I do know. On the 4th week of your time at the gym, you were doing those, they're called what? Bench presses. How much weight were you lifting at the time?
140 pounds.
140 pounds?
Yes. Arnold, the instructor, told me I can do it. He promised he'll be there for me if anything happened.
140 pounds, right? Okay. What precisely happened on the day of the accident?
Okay. It was a day of training the chest muscles. And I was doing the bench press, lying on the bench while pushing up the weight.
Yeah, carry on.
As always, the instructor is supposed to be there by my side in case the weight is too much for me to carry. So I did the first 140 pounds, and then he decided to add the other 10.
Why?
He said I was ready to handle more weight. Besides, doesn't the instructor knows what's good for us? After he added the 10 pounds, I tried pushing up, but I wasn't able to bring it back down. I was struggling.
Was the instructor there?
Yes, I assumed he was watching on me, trying to know how far I could go without his help. However, I couldn't hold it up. The weight and my hand went down and landed on my neck.
Did he notice this and come to your rescue?
No. I was choking. I couldn't even breathe. I tried to scream, but there wasn't help. I tried to attract his attention. He wasn't there. I just noticed him like looking at a lady who was training her inner thighs. That lady, Cynthia Curley. She was the one who was working out. She might have noticed Arnold's ogling at her, and she was trying to turn his attention and tell him to be by himself. That's when she noticed the weight on my neck, killing me.
She saved you?
Yes. She screamed aloud, and that attracted his attention. So he immediately came and lifted the weight off my neck. I was rushed to hospital.
Did they give you proper treatment at the hospital?
Yes, they did. But my voice cord was already damaged by the weight.
Did the doctors say whether you're going to get your voice back?
They are not sure. So far, no improvement.
All right. Thank you. Nothing further.
Kali Keriso, aka the G-Man. Your career was fairly successful before the accident that damaged your vocal cord.
Yes.
You did shows in Tanzania, Uganda. In fact, you were meant to perform in the west coast of America. I mean, it's summertime. Everybody is in a party mood, right?
Yeah, I could have gotten a lot of money with that.
A great deal of money. I agree. Your star was rising pretty fast. In fact, due to your celebrity status, you were quite the man with the ladies. Never took a girl out twice on a date. They were literally falling on your feet.
Objection, Your Honor. We're here to discuss about my client's romantic escapades.
I'm trying to establish his lifestyle before he joined the gym. Why does a man join the gym? Why did he join the gym?
He answered that during my examination, and he said he did that because of his own self-image.
Is that true, G-Man? You wanted to improve your self-image?
Yes.
You wanted bulging muscles, 4 or 6 packs in the abs, eh?
Oh, objection, Your Honor. This is turning out into a mockery.
The self-improvement was geared, or is geared towards the ladies. Isn't that right, G-Man? You wanted to get the ladies all crazy, yes?
So?
You must agree with that, don't you? That's what you were doing. You were carrying heavy weights, trying to show the ladies that you could handle your business, right?
Objection, Your Honor.
Isn't it a fact that the instructor specifically told you not to lift weights above 100 pounds because you were not ready?
No.
Is it not true that the gym instructor asked you to concentrate, to listen to your body, and to give you ample time just in case you needed a helping hand?
No.
I put it to you that on the day of the voice box accident, you requested the gym instructor to stand far from you because you did not want to look like he was babysitting you.
You were not there.
You did not even ask him not to pretend that he was helping you because there were some ladies who were checking you out and you wanted to look like you were capable of handling your business.
No, that's not true.
If that is not true, then why was your instructor? Why was Arnold Kebati standing 4 feet away from where you were working out? Is it not true, or is it not customary for the gym instructor to stand 4 feet away from his client? In this case, Arnold was. Why?
Because he wasn't doing his job. He was busy concentrating on the lady's thigh.
And does he need to stand away from you to check out the ladies? I asked you a question. I'd like an answer. Why was your gym instructor standing 4 feet away from where you are working out?
I don't know.
Did you ask him to stand far away from you?
No.
I put it to you that you did.
No, I did not.
Your poor performance of trying to impress the ladies at the gym went really bad. In fact, it went so bad, and now you want somebody else to pay for your foolish stunts. Nothing, Father.
Miss Kali, how long have you been a member at Total Body Fitness Center?
For almost a year now.
And at any point, did you have a personal trainer?
As a beginner, yes, but not anymore.
Arnold Kebati, was he ever your personal trainer?
For the first week,
Why 1 week?
he made me uncomfortable.
Oh. In what way? Could you please expound that to the court?
In the way he looked at me, there was something icky about that.
You felt icky
My lord.
while you worked with him?
My lord, what is icky? Isn't the council taking us for a ride?
Your Honor, if this counsel is patient enough, she will get a feel of it. Now, please tell this court what you mean by icky.
That's a little bit difficult to explain, but I'll give it a shot. I always felt as if he was not looking at me, but looking in me, like he was checking me out, kinda.
He was looking at you suggestively?
Objection. Counsel is leading the witness.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I will rephrase the question. What do you mean by looking into you? How was he looking into you?
You know, that's kind of difficult to explain to a man you guys don't have to deal with.
Give it your best shot.
I always thought that he was not looking at me in a working out way, that he was intruding in a very personal way. The net product was he made me uncomfortable.
And did you inform this to the management?
Nope, I knew I could handle him if he got out of hand.
All right. Do the other girls in the gym feel the same way?
Most of us do, with the exception of those who like it. Some women actually like that intrusive attention.
All right, on the day that my client G-Man was injured in the gym, were you present?
Yes, I was working on my lower body. I was working on my inner thighs.
So what transpired just before you noticed that G-Man was injured?
Okay, as usual, I was working out, and Arnold, on the other hand, was checking me out, giving me that...
icky look?
Yes, more so. So I was turning to tell him to stop ogling me when I noticed G-Man choking under his weight. That caught me off guard. I screamed and alerted Arnold, who then dashed and lifted the weight off him. I mean, he was rushed to hospital, and the next thing I hear, he has no voice or something, and now, well, here we are.
How sure are you that Arnold Kabati was actually ogling at your body before you noticed that G-Man was injured?
There were mirrors all around the gym. I saw him.
You saw him?
Yes, I did. And that is how I felt it was too much. I mean, for a second, a minute or two, but for a whole minute, that's something else.
What do you wear as your gear in the gym?
A pair of biker shorts and a sports bra. I like to see my muscles stimulated. It tells me I'm doing the right thing.
All right, thank you.
How often do you see G-Man at the gym?
Well, almost every time I was there, it's as if we had the same schedule or something like that.
And what are the times that you have more women at the gym?
Usually it's between 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. off-peak. We all like to work out before the older women get there. I mean, they're always complaining about the way we dress.
And when you mean we, you mean?
Me and my girls, I mean, we like to work out as a group. Makes us more motivated.
And you all wear the same biker shorts, sports bra?
Yes, like I told you before, we all like to see our muscles stimulated.
And the young crowd, it gets in by 2 o'clock, finishes at 5 o'clock, and they're out by 6.
Yes.
Had you ever met G-Man previously, or did you meet him for the first time in the gym?
I didn't know him. I met him for the first time at Total Body Fitness Center.
How did he seem to you?
Well, like the rest of the celebs, show-offs. I mean, he was always trying to get everyone's attention, something I found totally, or rather extremely irritating.
And in what way was he showing off?
He was always trying hard moves, you know, and making all the noises so that we could like turn and look at him. He used to push weights twice as much as his body size, like some pro, and yet he was just a starter. I mean, I guess he was desperate to look like Triple H or something.
Interesting. And was he showing off on the day of the accident?
Yes, most likely. Arnold prepared the weight for him at the bench. He did like 5 repetitions and stopped and asked Arnold to add him some more weights, which he did. Again, he insisted that he should be added more. He said something like he looked stronger than he seems and that Arnold should stop underestimating his strength.
And did Arnold add the weights?
No, Arnold insisted that they should work with that for some time. The other lady started noticing what was going on, and so Arnold got off the bench and added the weights himself.
What happened next?
I don't know what happened next. I continued with my workout. Next thing I know is seeing the G-Man choking.
Nothing further. Looking for this?
Where are they? I've been looking all over for them.
I figured you're busy, and I was free. So I decided to help you out. I did the research, prepared the brief, and the deposition notes. They're all in order.
You did all that?
Yeah. Considering you're busy and your case will be heard in a couple of days, you needed a second hand.
But you didn't have to. This is great. This is perfect. This is good. How long did it take you to do all this?
A couple of days. Oh, and you can thank me later.
How could I possibly thank you? You've saved me a lot.
Tyrus, you need a second hand.
Thanks. Well, I had better get back to it. Thank you.
I'm Dr. Daniela Charlie.
Right. You are Charlie Keriso's, or also known as G-Man, attending physician.
Yes. Charlie Keriso was referred to me by the doctor who treated him at Kenyatta Hospital, where he was rushed for treatment.
You indicated that in your report that he suffered a vocal cord paralysis.
Yes.
Could you please explain to us what this condition is all about?
Vocal cord paralysis is a voice disorder that occurs when one or both vocal cords do not open or close properly. The vocal cords are two elastic band of tissue muscles located at the larynx, commonly referred to as the voice box. The vocal cord produces voice when air held in the lungs is released and passed through the closed vocal cords, causing them to vibrate.
Right. And what exactly is the voice box?
The voice box is an organ in the neck that is involved in protecting trachea and sound production. It manipulates pitch and volume. That is where sound is generated.
Mm-hmm. If heavy weight is placed on the voice box, can that cause the vocal cord paralysis?
Yes, any tremendous amount of strain on the neck can cause it.
All right. What treatment did you administer on G-Man?
Well, his case is quite interesting.
In what way?
Most patients who suffer from vocal cords paralysis have heavy voices. The pitch is very low and hoarse in nature. Very few cases result to what G-Man has exhibited. As a physician, my concern was his ability to breathe and swallow, and he is capable of that. As for his voice, he will require more treatment and speech therapy to get it back.
All right. Is it possible that he would get his voice back like how it was prior to that accident?
I can't say with certainty. Order that occurs when one or both vocal cords do not open or close properly. The vocal cords are two elastic band of tissue muscles located at the larynx, commonly referred to as the voice box. The vocal cord produces voice when air held in the lungs is released and passed through the closed vocal cords, causing them to vibrate.
Right. And what exactly is the voice box?
The voice box is an organ in the neck that is involved in protecting trachea and sound production. It manipulates pitch and volume. That is where sound is generated.
Mm-hmm. If heavy weight is placed on the voice box, can that cause the vocal cord paralysis?
Yes, any tremendous amount of strain on the neck can cause it.
All right. What treatment did you administer on G-Man?
Well, his case is quite interesting.
In what way?
Most patients who suffer from vocal cords paralysis have heavy voices. The pitch is very low and hoarse in nature. Very few cases result to what G-Man has exhibited. As a physician, my concern was his ability to breathe and swallow, and he is capable of that. As for his voice, he will require more treatment and speech therapy to get it back.
All right. Is it possible that he would get his voice back like how it was prior to that accident?
I can't say with certainty.
So it's possible that his voice will never change for the rest of his life?
That is possible. But some people regain their voices and they manage to heal completely. Others don't. There is no true science in it. I would classify it in the category of physiotherapy, where some patients regain full use of their limbs, but some don't.
Okay. Your Honor, I do have the medical report here, which indicates that my client suffered trauma and the vocal cord paralysis because of the personal trainer's negligence. And I'd like to submit it as evidence in the court.
Subject.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Vocal cord paralysis normally causes the voice to be deeper. That's what you said, right? Correct. In your opinion, what is the frequency of documented cases where the paralysis has made the voice pitch to go higher? Probably 1 in every 1,000 cases. Very rare. You could say so. And what are the other stress contributors other than physical injury? Misuse of voice, abuse of voice. What do you mean by misuse of voice? The use of incorrect pitch, volume, quality, inadequate breath support, or excessive tension on the neck muscles when speaking. And what about abuse of voice? Excessive shouting, screaming, cheering, crying, strained vocalizations. For example, sounds made when imitating animal voices, motors, excessive loud talking, hard vocal attacks, such as excessive coughing, excessive throat clearing. And when an artist is performing, say they're singing, shouting, rapping, could that lead to the damage of the vocal cord? Yes, it is possible. And this falls under voice abuse, particularly this modern music, raps and the like. They have a lot of hard attacks on the vocals. When someone is on the stage, they need to shout, and that strains the vocal cords. What other causes are there of this paralysis? Some other factors such as exposure to smoking, chronic upper respiratory infections, allergies, hormonal imbalances, fatigue. And any of these factors can lead a person to the paralysis. Yes, quite possible, yes. Is it possible that Jiman's voice box was already damaged due to his career and that the pressure on his neck was a catalyst to the process? Yes, it is possible. I had also considered that because the paralysis caused his voice pitch to be higher and not lower, as is usually the case. Unfortunately, there is no way of us knowing for sure. But is it possible? Yes. Thank you. Nothing further. Arnold Kabati, for how long have you been a gym instructor and a personal trainer?
4 years.
4 years. Had there been any injuries or accidents under your watch?
Never.
Not even one?
Not even once. You see, I'm not just a trainer. I educate my clients on how to work out properly. I tell them what to eat and how to eat properly. So I can say I'm more of a lifestyle coach.
Let's talk about Jiman. You've been his personal trainer?
Yes.
For how long?
About 4 weeks.
What were his goals? What were his objectives for joining the gym?
He wanted to build a great body.
And did he always follow instructions?
No, hardly. You see, Jiman used to see himself as the G-man. And he pretty much thought he could get away with anything because he was a celeb. I had prepared a 3-day program for him. But when he got to the gym, the guy did whatever he felt like. He had no discipline, and was always contemptuous of instructions.
On the day of the accident, what happened?
It was day 3 of the program, and we were working on the chest muscles. So we had already done a series of the chest workouts, and we were focusing on the bench press because it was the 4th on the list. So I prepared the machines and put on a 70-pound weight.
Which was optimal for him.
Yes, but okay, he did a few repetitions. Then he insisted that it was light. So I added another 10 pounds and I encouraged him. I told him that it was great that his body had already adapted to the 70 pounds and was ready to do another 10 pounds. So when he was doing the first set, some chicks somewhere noticed him and they started watching him. One of the chicks came over to the machines to watch how much he was lifting. And she said, "Oh, it's just 80 pounds, as if to imply that he could do more. The guy stopped working out and he told them that, "Oh, I'm just warming up." Then he added on more pounds so that he could really go heavy, you know?
And did you try and stop him?
I tried, but he insisted he knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing, yet you were his trainer.
Yeah. He even requested me not to step aside and let him do his thing.
And did you agree?
The guy was adamant. So I stepped aside and let him do his thing. Well, the girls who were watching were relatively impressed. But I was so disgusted, I must have looked away for a moment.
What exactly do you mean by that?
You see, when I'm in the gym, I just don't watch what people do. I try to correct them because I realize people have no idea on how to work out properly. So on this particular day, and it's part of my job to make sure that these guys, on a regular basis, they're okay. But this time I noticed Cynthia. She was doing short and quick repetitions as opposed to controlled and slow repetitions. I then heard choking sounds. I turned, and G-Man was under the weight.
So it wasn't Cynthia's scream that alerted you of G-Man's accident?
No. In fact, it must have been one of the girls. I rushed to his aid and relieved him of the weight.
Had he followed your instructions to the letter, would he have injured himself?
No, not at all. We would not even be here in the first place.
Thank you.
Being a trainer and a personal instructor, you know the risks associated with poor exercise and techniques.
Yes.
And it is your responsibility to impart this knowledge to your clients.
Yeah, that's why they pay me.
Did you inform my client, G-Man, about the risks associated with a sudden increase of weight that he was lifting that day?
I tried, but the guy just doesn't listen.
So you stepped aside, let him do his thing, even you knowing that he would actually hurt himself.
You see, as they say, mtoto akililia wembe.
Then let me get this straight. My client, Kimani, was very adamant. He wanted to lift very heavy weights. You knew he was taking a very big risk. And you let him take it anyway. You knowing he was taking a very huge risk, right?
Yeah.
You decided not to watch him. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but is that exactly what happened on that day?
Well, not exactly.
You knew what he was doing was dangerous, didn't you?
Yeah.
But to top it all up, you decided not to watch him. You knew what he was doing was dangerous, and you decided not to watch him. You decided not to do your job. You decided to look at some girls in the gym as they exercised, leaving a man, my client, performing some very dangerous stunts. Unajua nini? Ulimpa mtoto wembe na akajikata. That's all, Your Honor.
in the matter of Charlie Kiriso versus Total Body Fitness Center. I have reviewed the pleadings, the evidence, and even considered the law. On the issue of liability, I find the defendant liable. However, the plaintiff also contributed to the accident. Both parties are at fault here. The gym instructor, being a personal trainer, should have been more vigilant with his client. The nature of exercises he was overseeing did not allow for the kind of distraction he displayed. Yet, on the other hand, the client had an obligation to adhere to the instructions of the specialist for his own safety. Because, after all, that is why they are there. On the issue of compensation, I was inclined to award a sum of Kenya shillings 1.2 million. But I have to review that down by 40%, being the assessed contributory negligence. Therefore, the plaintiff gets a payment of Kenya shillings 720,000. This ruling should serve as a warning to the defendant and those in the same business that they should make sure that their instructors do their jobs and do not let any Tom, Dick, and G-man to do as they please in the gymnasium. Court is dismissed.
All rise.